Many of Dr. Greg Wahl's students in his class at Montgomery College face obstacles to learning. Some of them aren't prepared for college-level classes, some have learning disabilities, and he has even had a few students in his class who have been homeless. But Dr. Wahl embraces the challenge to help his students overcome obstacles to find academic success in college. And his incredible dedication has earned him the honor of Maryland Professor of the Year. Dr. Wahl gave us some insight to his philosophy in this FaceTime interview. So how long have you been teaching here?
I've been teaching here for 10 years. We good? My bread and butter is the developmental courses. When you're putting commas in, remember that they're weak. They can't separate sentences. We say developmental instead of remedial. We don't think we're remedying anything necessarily. It's more just kind of getting people up to speed. They've missed certain things for whatever reason. It's not that they have a deficiency in it, it's just they might not have ever had it. Or they have it and it needs to get kind of all the way up to speed.
It looked like you were working on basic sentence structure and that sort of thing.
Restructure the sentence.
Are they getting it? Are they able to pick this up?
Yes, they are able to pick it up. There's a couple barriers to picking it up. One, it doesn't restructure the sentence. One is not knowing how to do the work. So not knowing what it really takes to do exercises, apply them to your writing, to learn the skills the way you need to learn them. And the other thing is the skills themselves. They're also learning the skills. Like, what are we doing here? What are you doing here? How are you going to figure out how to learn this? What do you need from me, but what are you going to have to do that I can't do for you?
Does that surprise you if they graduated from a high school, or is this what we've been reading about? This is what happens. Some of these kids get a diploma and they are missing a few things.
It should surprise me every semester. It should surprise everybody every semester, that especially students who have gotten good grades all along, not being able to write complete sentences, not being able to put together a coherent essay. Now, that's not all the students, of course, but it would be ideal if no student graduating high school needed this kind of work when they entered college. Now, that said, I think that this is a really super important part of college, and I'm glad to be doing that work. If there's a mess that needs to be cleaned up, let's clean it up.
But you're almost like a mini social worker to an extent in this class, aren't you? Because some of these kids have different stories and different struggles, and you're kind of giving them advice about all of that along the way as well.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a social worker. Many of the classes that I've had, there is somebody who needs the kind of help that I'm not qualified to give. A student came to class, handed in her work, done, and then broke down crying. And I had to say, well, what's going on with this? And then it came out that she slept in a doorway the night before because she had been put out of her house the day before. But that's the level of commitment to education and the level of understanding the value of their education that we see. Students who, despite these tremendous obstacles, are doing what they can to stay in the game.
And I noticed you have a really good rapport.
By the way, these were like actual basketball shoes when I was in junior high. This is like what I played basketball in. I mean, I guess, you just have to try to have fun. I mean, I do this, 3 times a day, multiple times a week, and so do they. And we're talking about comma splices. It's not the most scintillating of subjects for any of us really all the time. What goes wrong when you're using semicolons? In particular, if you're the Redskins, because they did a lot of this. If you can have some fun but get it shut off when it's time to get serious. The semicolon is like the punt of the grammar world. It's like you're out of ideas. Then it helps all of us get through a class on comma splices, for example. You may no longer use semicolons anymore in this class until I tell you you can. You are forbidden from using semicolons. No semicolons for you.
Talk a little bit about your award and how you felt when you found out you won Maryland Professor of the Year. That's a huge honor. The
most important answer I can come up with is because of a wonderful student named Laura who wrote me a letter of recommendation. What I'm proud about in that is that it was a really well-written letter, and this is one of my former EN002 developmental writing students.
What other points of satisfaction do you have coming out of a class like this?
There's a student in this class today who has had my class before, but was not successful in my class. I'm proud and satisfied that he wants it enough and trusts me enough to try it again, even though he was not successful in my class last time. Seeing students persist is one of the biggest satisfactions that I get out of it.
And so 10 years you've been here at Montgomery College. Is this your home?
Oh yeah, this is definitely my home. I feel that I am with my people here, and my people being the students and the staff and the faculty and the administration, and so many of us feel that way about Montgomery College and about the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus in particular. We've found our niche and our place to be, and so this is what we do every day, all the time.